Okay guys, let's jump right in. This particular video is going to be about managing your QSA company user accounts. Okay, there's really two roles that can do this. One is the master administrator account, which I really don't think you need to use for anything other than performing updates to the system. You know, it's basically a break glass account, so really doesn't need to be used. But your client administrator account is the right role to set up additional users. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as that. And then I'll walk you through the process. All right. So as you can see, we're on the main screen. We got one project in here. And all these buttons. The button that we're going to get into is users. Contacts has to do with your customers' users, but we are interested in the QSA company users. So we're going to click here. And first thing I want to do is I'm going to search right here, okay? And I'm going to show you some different types of user roles that we have set up. So QSAs, we have client administrator. That's how I'm logged in right now. Associate QSAs. We have a client engagement manager and then a client and then an auditor. So let's talk about what those things are. So QSAs, those are the people doing the work, right? They can either be the lead QSA or they can just be a contributing QSA to a project, right? An associate QSA, if you support those in your QSA practice, you'll be able to support those here. Mostly they have the same capability as your regular QSAs do, but not everywhere. So for example, if a control says, you know, set the name of the QSA that attests to something. Associate QSAs are not allowed to make that determination, so that button will not be there for them. And there's a few other things that they can't do either. So it's sort of a limited account, but for the most part, they can definitely request responses. They can definitely review responses, and they can definitely add, you know, data to the system, right? So that's your associate QSAs. Client engagement managers, what does that do? So that would actually be a contact. The only reason why they're showing up in the users section is because we've taken one of our company's contacts, like from we would have to look to see which one from widget sales, and we've decided to make this particular individual a client engagement manager. What does that mean they can do, right? So, you know, one of the main things to getting this thing set up right from the beginning is to set up all the stakeholders on the customer side of the project, right? The people that are in charge of database maintenance, the people that are in charge of patching, people are in charge of scans and penetration testing and user management, HR, training, things like that, right? So that would be a lot of work for your QSAs to do at the beginning of a project. So really kind of, you know, the recommended way to do it is to set up a client engagement manager. It may be the top level person you're dealing with for the customer, and let them do that work, right? So we'll walk through in a later video exactly how to do that. I just wanted to point that out. And in these client users are clients where we had sent a request to a customer and said, we need you to provide a diagram, or we need you to provide a response, or maybe tell us what your company does so we can start to craft our executive summary in section 2. And then that client would have been able to click on a link and go provide that information without seeing or doing anything else, or they could have gone ahead and created themselves a limited account to interact with the system on an ongoing basis. So that's, once they have done that, they will show up here as a client, but not before, all right? The auditor role is kind of a simple role. It's basically, they have no write privileges at all, only read privileges. And then the other thing I wanted to point out to you, if you want to edit any of these users, that's what this button right here is for. So edit user, change their password, enable or disable them, and then add or remove roles, right? So I can add a role to any user, right? Or I can take away their existing role. Now, I don't want to take away that role because they will have nothing else and it will be party over for that user, all right? Audit log, what does that do? Well, let's look. I'm going to click on this account. And what this is basically going to do is it takes us down to the audit log area. But it's going to tell me for this user everything that they have done over a period of time. So right now it defaults to going back a week. I'm going to go back further than that. I'm going to say, what has this user been up to for the last month, right? And when I hit the button, it's going to come up with basically everything that they have done. So looks like on the 28th of February, they added a response in 991B. I could click on this and actually go see it. But as you can see, they did quite a bit. They've also requested responses from this gentleman, requested this one, and added some comments right here. Items marked not applicable. So you can basically figure out what all your users are doing in this audit log. So getting back to it, how do we add a new user, right? If you're new to TurboQSA and you just got a demo account or you just installed the system and are ready to start using it, you're going to have to create users, right? And you're going to do that by clicking Invite New User, all right? It's really easy to do. I'm going to say he's going to be a QSA, and I'm going to just, all I have to do is provide his email. So you want to make sure you get this right, right? So I'm going to put John plus TurboQSA.com. Okay, and then I hit invite, and that's really all there is to it. So I'm going to stop the video right here, go grab the email, and I'll show you the final part. Okay, so I'm back here. I'm in the email, and as you can see, the administrator has invited you to join the assessment portal for your QSA company, which is the fictitious QSA company that I've set forth for this demo, in the role of QSA. So it's basically instructing you to follow this link to complete the registration project, or process, sorry. And we're going to click that. And it's going to take us into the app where it's telling me to create a username. It's basically going to default to the email for that, which is fine. And then I'm going to assign a password. And I'm going to confirm it. And then I'm going to put the other information. I'm going to say this is John Davidson. And we're going to say his phone number is 111 222. How about that? All right. And then when I submit this, account was successfully created. Contact the administrator if he comes across any problems. All right, so let's go ahead and log in as that gentleman. And it's giving me my splash screen, so apparently I made it. I'm going to agree to the terms, and I am in. All right. So, of course, it's, as you can see, my name is up here, and it's strongly recommending that I enable two-factor authentication, which is easy to do. I'm going to go into my profile by clicking right here. Click my profile. Click to authentication, and I can get the Google Authenticator app, scan the code, and activate the 2FA. All right? It's very, very simple to do. Can also generate recovery codes for other users as an administrator here as well. All right. So that's what I wanted to teach you about managing your QSA company user accounts. Please reach out to us at support@turboqsa.com or give us a call at 877-222-5275. If you run into any issues, always happy to help. Thanks again for watching.